Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. It's time again for another emulsified sugar scrub video, and I'm really excited to be sharing this one with you today. It's a beautiful plant-based sugar scrub emulsified that you can use on both your face and your body. Now, an emulsified sugar scrub, in case you're unfamiliar with that, is a sugar scrub that has no floating oils in it. And when you apply it to your wet skin and the sugar starts to dissolve, it turns into a creamy lotion-like consistency. It rinses very cleanly down the drain and leaves your skin feeling beautifully silky smooth, like you had just applied lotion without a greasy feel to it. This is a perfect scrub to use during the summertime. You can even use it daily if you like, because it's gentle enough. It's not a real heavy exfoliant, but it's also enough that your skin and body is going to feel the difference after you use it. We're using some luxurious oils like jojoba and sunflower, and we're using loads of shea butter and some beautiful conditioning properties. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you a full visual and step-by-step process and tutorial of how to put together this beautiful emulsified sugar scrub. And if you would like the full written recipe with detailed written instructions and a detailed written tutorial with percentages, please head on over to my Patreon campaign where you can unlock this scrub for just a $5 pledge. Not only will you be able to unlock this recipe with that $5 pledge, but you'll be able to unlock 3 years of archived recipes, including more emulsified sugar scrub recipes similar to the one that I'm going to be showing you today. In addition to all of the recipes and tutorials, there's a ton more to take advantage of on my Patreon campaign. If you're interested, we offer things like bonus recipes, and we offer live monthly hangouts, live classes, gift packages, coupon codes to my favorite suppliers, and in one of the tiers you're able to connect with me directly and ask me questions. There's just so much to look at and take advantage of. It's a great way to connect with other makers in the community, as well as a great way to connect with me. I really hope that you'll check it out. I'm going to go ahead and place the link in the description box below for you, and it's a great way to support me and to help me to bring you content like this every week. All right, let's make some beautiful emulsified sugar scrub. Okay, so this recipe is broken down into 3 phases, or that's at least the way that I've broken it down. We have a heated phase, we have a secondary phase, and then we have a phase where we add in the exfoliant, which is just granulated white sugar. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and weigh off the ingredients that go into my heated phase. These are the ingredients we're going to heat up and melt down. So we are going to be adding in, first to this beaker, some gorgeous jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is probably one of my most favorite oils to use. It's the closest oil to your own unique skin makeup, and it doesn't leave any greasy residue. It's very lightweight, and it just feels wonderful on the skin. So we're going to be adding in some jojoba oil. And then also to this beaker, we're going to be adding in some sunflower seed oil. Sunflower seed oil is full of beautiful antioxidants. It's high in vitamin E content, and it feels very lightweight and airy on the skin. So we're going to go ahead and add in some sunflower seed oil. I got this one and also the jojoba oil from Brambleberry. And then the next thing we're going to be adding to this beaker is some gorgeous shea butter. Now, shea butter is a beautiful ingredient to add to sugar scrubs because it does add to the hardness and the thickness that you need in a sugar scrub so that it sets up properly, or at least an emulsified sugar scrub. And it also is a beautiful butter for moisturizing. It's got high moisturizing properties in it, and it's just wonderful. Shea butter is also really a good thing to add for people with dry skin, and also it has great anti-aging properties, which makes it perfect to add into this scrub, which you can actually use on your face and your body. So as you can see, we're just adding in some really nice, gentle, skin-loving ingredients to this point. I am using refined shea butter, and my favorite is the refined shea butter. I recently got this question, what's my favorite shea butter to use? And this shea butter I get from Brambleberry. I always go back to it It's the most consistent in quality, and it looks and feels the best to me. And I like the refined version because it doesn't have any smell to it. Okay, so next thing we're going to be adding to this container is some cetyl alcohol. Now, the reason we're using cetyl alcohol in this recipe is because cetyl alcohol is a really nice fatty alcohol. It leaves your skin feeling beautifully conditioned and silky, and it's got really nice rinse off appeal to it. So once it rinses off your skin, it doesn't feel like you have any oils clinging to your skin. It just leaves your skin feeling conditioned and also very smooth and silky. And cetyl alcohol is a great ingredient to use also on your facial care routine. It's in a lot of your facial care products. I just got mine from Making Cosmetics. This is also going to help the scrub to set up to the proper consistency. It's a great thickener. Now it's time to add the emulsifier. Now the emulsifier in this recipe that we're going to be using today is one called, it goes by the brand name Cream Maker Blend. Cream Maker Blend I get also from Making Cosmetics. It's a self-emulsifying and thickening blend of emulsifiers, including glycerol, monostearate, and PEG 100 stearate. So this has a beautiful, creamy emulsion. It's absolutely gorgeous in scrubs. It's gorgeous in creams and lotions. If you haven't tried the Cream Maker Blend or a combination of the glycerol, monostearate, and PEG 100 stearate, give this a try. I highly, highly recommend it. It's a wonderful thing to add to lots of different DIY body and hair type formulas. I really, really like it a lot. It gives a nice and light, fluffy feeling as well. And it's going to help thicken up this sugar scrub to the proper consistency with that cetyl alcohol and the shea butter. Also with this, if you don't add an emulsifier to this type of sugar scrub, then you don't have an emulsified sugar scrub. You actually need the emulsifier. That's what's going to turn the water when it hits your skin and when you start to scrub. That's what's going to turn all of that into a beautiful, decadent, creamy lotion. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and set this aside. And then I'm going to grab a smaller container, and we are going to weigh off the ingredients that go into the secondary or cool down phase of this recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and get my smaller scale for this. The first thing I wanted to show you is I do switch scales when I weigh off little amounts, because I feel that this scale gives a bit of a more accurate measurement. In fact, the scale that I was just using, I think the lowest it goes down to is about 2 grams, and we're going to be using smaller amounts, 2 grams and under, for the rest of what goes in here. So I'm just using a little half of a bath bomb mold here because they're super lightweight, and I'm just going to tear out my scale, and I'm going to be adding in some PEG 6 caprylic capric triglycerides. I did get this from Windy Point, and this is a surfactant, meaning it has some of those cleansing properties that we're looking for, but people don't typically use this as a cleanser all by itself. People usually use this for its wonderful emollient properties, and that's what we're going to be using for, what's what we're going to be using this for today. This has some beautiful, just, it leaves your skin feeling very, it has an emollient feel to it, and the mild cleansing properties do help this scrub to cleanse the skin. However, not like it would if you were going to be, using a full shower gel or a bar of soap. Very, very mild cleansing properties. We're using this mainly for its beautiful emollient properties. Now to this, we're going to be adding in some vitamin E. We're using the vitamin E because it's great for your skin. It's very healing, but also vitamin E is going to not act as a preservative, but it's going to help prolong the shelf life of the oils that we're using in here. So this should help your scrub last a little bit longer, in addition to the very healing properties that the vitamin E is going to bring. Okay, and then next up we're going to be adding in our preservative. Now technically this probably does not require a preservative because we're not adding any water to this recipe, and you could just scoop out what you want into a container and bring that portion into your shower. However, I like to bring my entire tub of sugar scrub into my shower, and if you are selling it, you don't know what your customers are going to do with it. And they may also want to take it into the shower with them, which means water is likely going to be introduced into this formula. And you just want to make sure you're adding a preservative so that you're not allowing the opportunity for bacteria or germs or mold and bacteria to grow. And then the last thing we're going to be adding to this container is our fragrance oil. I am adding in Bali Breeze. This is a fragrance oil from Brambleberry. It smells really good. It's got like a clean ocean breeze type of smell to it, but it also has like top notes of green and floral. It's really, really pretty. It goes great with this. We're going to be adding in some botanicals here too, so I forgot to tell you guys that in the beginning, but we're going to be doing a pretty unique something with this in just a minute. So I'm going to be adding in my fragrance oil to this little beaker. Okay, and that's going to be it for the secondary phase ingredients. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a little stir just to get these ingredients nice and combined. And then I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. So now I have two containers, my heated phase here and my secondary phase in this little container here. I'm going to set these aside, and I'm going to prepare my sugar phase of this recipe. And I have already weighed out my sugar for this recipe because I buy all my sugar in bulk and it's in a huge tub. So I just wanted to have it all the way ready to go. And then to my sugar, I'm going to be adding in these beautiful ground up blue cornflowers. The cornflowers are going to add some natural color to this. I did get these from Brambleberry, and I just think they are the most beautiful color. They look a lot like little calendula petals, but they are bright blue and kind of, well, they actually kind of look like a bluish purple. They're really, really beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and mix that into my sugar phase. All I did was take some of my cornflowers, and then I put them through a little spice grinder or a coffee grinder, and I ground them up into a fine powder. So I'm going to go ahead and add it into my sugar phase. And then I'm just going to take a chopstick here, and I'm going to mix the sugar and the cornflower together. There are skin benefits. Cornflower has beautiful skin and hair benefits. I have experimented making like an infused water with the cornflowers and using it for a body wash. It's supposed to be very soothing. And also they're going to add a little bit of exfoliation. And once this hits our melted ingredients, you're going to see that color, we're going to get a nice kind of purpley, light purple color when everything's said and done. I may add a little bit of mica just to kind of deepen the color. And my test batches, it's super light lavender. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and set aside my sugar phase. Now, the next thing to do is to go ahead and heat up the heated phase ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and melt this all down, and I'll bring you right back for the next step. All right, our heated phase ingredients are all the way melted down, and we're sitting right at around 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are ready to go ahead and add in the secondary phase ingredients. Now we just want to make sure, because we're using the Optifin 176 degrees, we just want to make sure that this portion here is less than 176 degrees so we don't kill off that preservative before we add this in. So we are well below that. We're going to go ahead and add in our secondary phase ingredients. And at this time, I think I'm going to put just a little bit of mica colorant in here. You totally can omit that. You don't need to add any colorant. In fact, I'll show you some of the scrub I've been using with just the cornflowers and no color. But I want to just add a little bit more in here to enhance that beautiful purple color. So for my mica choice, I picked this Cheshire Cat mica from Nurture Soap, and I think it's a really, really beautiful purplish blue color. It matches the cornflowers beautifully. I'm just going to use a little scoop, just a little bit here. And that's all I'm going to do, maybe a skosh more, just a little bit. I'm not trying to color this completely with the mica, but we did want to give it a little enhancement. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and dissolve that up into my heated oil phase. Now this looks super dark, but that's just because everything is melted down. Once this sets up, it's going to be a lovely purplish blue color. Okay, so the last thing to do is just to go ahead and slowly add in our sugars and our ground up corn flour. Now, you really don't have to be too concerned about how hot this is because our sugar is not going to dissolve in this heated oil phase. Sugar is water soluble, meaning if you put it in water and you stir it up, the sugar will dissolve to a certain point. But because this is oil, we're not going to get that sugar to dissolve in it. So even if we're sitting higher than, 120 or even 100 degrees, it really is going to be okay. It just means it's going to take a little bit longer for this to set up. So we are sitting at 123 degrees now after the secondary phase has been added in, which is a perfect time to be adding in your sugar phase. So all we're going to do is slowly add in some sugar. I'm switching to a spatula here. Just slowly adding in the sugar and stirring by hand. And you can see it's starting to thicken up. This, however, is going to take several hours to set up. So what I'm going to do is allow this to set up just a little bit, and then I'm going to pour it into my container of choice. So I'll bring you back for the next step. All right, we've let this set up for just a little bit now, and it's sitting right around 90 degrees, I think. This is a good time to pour. Yeah, around 91 degrees. And we're going to be pouring it into these cute little aluminum containers. They're green. I thought that would be a nice complement to the purple, but they do screw on. They don't just sit on top, they do screw on, so they're kind of nice. I probably wouldn't use these for shipping. This is just for purposes of my own use, and also maybe we will be gifting some of these out to friends and family, but I wouldn't use these to ship. I would use something a little bit more airtight, like you've seen me use the 8-ounce PET containers before. I would probably use something like that, but I thought these were cute. So we're going to go ahead and use these today. I believe they're 2, maybe 4-ounce containers. Oh, we'll see. We made an 8-ounce batch, so we'll see how much this fills up. Yeah, I think these are 4-ounce containers. Okay. Now, it is going to set up much more firm in consistency than what you see here. We just need to give it a few hours to set up all the way. You guys have heard me say before with my sugar scrubs, I don't like to judge the final consistency until after about 24 hours or so. And then I'll bring you back to show you what they look like and give you a little bit of a use demo. Okay, so these little sugar scrubs have been setting now for about 3 hours, and I wanted to show you the difference real quick between the colors of one that I didn't add any mica to, and then of course the ones we did today. So here's the ones we did today where I added a little bit of that Cheshire Cat mica, and then here's one without any color. The color is just from those blue cornflower petals. So it's a really nice kind of light lavender looking purple. So either way, I think it's really beautiful, but you don't have to add any color if you don't like. So I wanted to give you an idea of the consistency. My house is around 76 degrees right now, and these have reached room temperature, and they are just perfectly in there. They're not coming out. There's no floating oils. And let me just take a spoon so you can see what the consistency looks like here. So it's set up in such a way that it's like not going to come out of the container, but still very pliable and very scoopable. So you can get as much as you want out of this little container. But basically, that's the consistency. It doesn't feel, if you guys are familiar with my emulsified body scrub, it's not quite as hard and granular as that formula. As you can see, it's got some smoothness to it, but it's still not fluid like, it's not as fluid as, say, some of you have been asking me about like the Tree Hut brand from Target. It's definitely not fluid like the Tree Hut brand, but I don't mind because this has got a lot of shea butter in it, and it's just gorgeous. As long as there's not a lot of floating oils and you can scoop it up into your hand, then I'm pretty pleased. And also with the performance, I really like. So that's what it looks like. Now this one's been sitting now, I've been using this one for probably 1 to 2 weeks, and as you can see, the consistency remains the same. So this is going to this will stay the same consistency through the summer months as well, which is nice, and maybe a little bit harder in the winter months. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a use demo here so you can see how great this performs. Let me just grab my water. Okay, a little bit of water here. And all we're gonna do is, you wanna kind of wet your hands just to activate the emulsion a little bit here. Let me get my camera ready to go. I have a little bit left over in my beaker. We'll probably just use that. So I'm gonna grab up a little bit here from my beaker. Now to get a really good idea of how good the emulsion is, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of wet my hand and the back of my arm a little bit first before I take what's in this hand and scrub it, just so you can see. But then I have a little bit in this hand, and we're just gonna scrub. But do you see how you get that immediate like emulsion? It's so beautiful and creamy. It's just turning into a really nice lotion-like consistency, but also giving me some nice exfoliation. Put a little bit on the back of my hand here as well. I absolutely love the way this scrub feels. It feels really, really good. Let me just get that last little bit there. And this is gentle enough and luxurious enough to use on your face, which I've been doing as well. And you just want to get it nice and exfoliated, and then you're just going to go ahead and use your water to rinse. And you are left with perfectly emulsified, scrubbed, and beautiful silky looking skin with no greasy residue or floating oils. So you're not going to slip. As you can see, it's turned my water white because it's emulsifying in the water as well. So this would rinse very cleanly down the drain. All right, everybody, that concludes today's video. I hope you liked it. And if you did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Please remember to leave a comment or question below. That really means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, catch you on the next video. Keep shining. Bye.